Oh my God, an insane goal!
Lionel Messi! Manchester United have reached the promised land. Captain has done it!
It's a fantastic save!
Unbelievable! The stuff dreams are made of!
Speaking Football.
Hello and welcome to episode number 96 of Speaking Football. My name's Tommy Hay and I'm joined here in Madrid by my colleague Rubén Palomero. Thank you to everyone out there joining Rubén and I for the next hour and listening to us from wherever you are in the world. If you're listening to us on the radio, remember that if you enjoyed listening to Richard Vaughan live over the last hour, you can hear more from Richard after this show on La Hora Extra. So as always, stick around. Now, there are lots of interesting things to talk about on today's show. In a few minutes, we'll be talking about dogs and national stereotypes for our footballing cliche of the day. Very original, this program, I have to say. And in the second half of the show, Rubén and I will be challenging each other to see if we can guess some very complicated idiomatic expressions in English and in Spanish in one of our latest sections that we like to call Play on Words. So stick around and see how well you do. First, though, let's begin the programme, as always, by revealing the identity of last week's mystery player.
Mystery player.
Okay, Rubén, you can kick us off with clue number one.
Clue number one. He has the best goal-scoring rate in La Liga history ahead of Ronaldo and Messi.
Very good. This word rate is interesting. So rate can mean tasa, for example, like tasa de like paro, for example, unemployment rate. But it can also mean sometimes if we talk about like promedio de algo, goal scoring rate, or sometimes we say goal scoring average as well. So he has the highest goal scoring rate or the highest goal scoring average in La Liga history ahead of, por delante de, ahead of Ronaldo and Messi. So an incredible goal-scoring rate in La Liga. Clue number two, he played in Spain, Mexico, and in Argentina as well. So Spain, Mexico, and Argentina. Clue number three, Rubén.
In Spain, he only played in one team that's no longer in La Liga First Division.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he only played in one team that's no longer. That's a very sort of poetic way to say ya no juega, okay? Ya no hace whatever.
Pero yo lo vi jugando en la Liga.
Yeah?
Yo vi ese equipo jugando en la Liga y jugando competición europea.
Ah, I was going to say, you didn't see the player playing in La Liga, you saw the team playing in La Liga.
Sí. No the player, I saw the team playing UEFA.
And the UEFA Cup. Okay. So yeah, they're not way down at the bottom of the Spanish categories, but they're not in La Liga anymore at the moment. Anyway, they're not in La Liga. That's it. Good. Clue number four. He was top scorer, máximo goleador. He was top scorer 3 times in Spain, twice in Mexico, and once in Argentina. So 6 times in his career, he was the top scorer in the league. 3 times in Spain, twice in Mexico, and once in Argentina. And clue number 5.
He played in the 1934 World Cup.
Very good. So this was why I was surprised when Rubén a few seconds ago said that he saw him playing. He wasn't talking about the player. He was talking about the team. Obviously, 1934 World Cup, you don't have many memories of that one, Rubén. I don't think you were even alive at that point. Were your parents alive at that point? When were your parents born? What year were your parents born in?
My parents?
Know? Yeah, when were they born?
No, in the 1954.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
no.
Maybe your grandparents, something like that? Maybe.
Yeah, my grandparents, yes. At the beginning of the century. My grandparents were born at the beginning of the century.
Very good. Exactly. Fantastic. My grandparents were born at the beginning of the century. Okay, so a little bit before everybody listening's time, but nevertheless, a very, very important player in the history of Spanish football. Who was our mystery player, Rubén?
Our mystery player was Isidro Lángara, máximo goleador de la Liga por media goleador.
That's it. Yeah, so for this goal-scoring rate, he is, by quite some distance, the best goal scorer in the history of La Liga. Lots of people think Ronaldo and Messi. If you look at it game for game, this guy had an incredible goal-scoring record. Did we have many winners this week, Rubén?
Bueno, no muchos, porque era bastante difícil. Aquí tenemos a Lángara, luego subiremos a redes sociales también la imagen de Lángara, y solo acertaron CPP y JR Barbancho.
Okay, so not too many at all. Yeah, I think this is probably the hardest one we've ever had. You'll never guess who did get it. Was Jose Ramon from Laval du Chat. He wrote to us and he said, "Dear Tommy, despite the fact that today is quite cold, I've been sweating trying to find out who is this week's mystery player." How the hell? Like, I love this expression, like demonios, you say in Spanish, no? Like,
sí, como diablos, como demonios.
Como diablos, yeah. How the hell did Rubén think of this player this time? I had to look up everywhere and get my brain to work intensively to come up with an answer. I'm not sure, but I think you're referring to Isidro Lángara. Hope my guess is close, but who knows? In any case, thanks very much for your program and have a nice weekend. Thank you very much for listening, and you're absolutely correct.
Yeah,
it was indeed Isidro Lángara. Really difficult.
And really difficult and very interesting these days. There is a war in Europe. And for example, Isidro Lángara was playing in Oviedo. And after the Civil War, he had to leave to Mexico and Argentina. So it's very interesting, the story about this football player.
Yeah. And there are lots of stories like that of fantastic football players whose careers were interrupted by things like conflict or maybe economic crises or things like that. If you think of the great Hungarian team that reached the World Cup final in 1954, if you think what happened to them after because of the revolution in Hungary, that team disappeared. It completely disappeared. And obviously great players like Puskás and just that in Kubala, for example. All of these players ended up in different parts of the world and it was interrupted. The same in Britain as well. Matt Busby, who was the manager of Manchester United when they won their first European Cup in 1968, his career was interrupted for 5 years during the Second World War. The best years of his career. So, yeah, these things can happen. We could probably do an episode on that, players who have been affected by politics and global events. I think it's a very interesting subject. But yeah, really congratulations to anybody who managed to get that. It really was not easy. So very, very well done. Now, it's on to our first section of today's programme, which is, of course, our football cliche of the day.
They started in the front foot.
When you're under the cosh, you're not at the races.
Had enough chances to put the game to bed.
Cliche of the day.
Now, a cliche is something that you hear being said about a place. It can be translated as tópico, and also in Spanish you sometimes say
we can use cliché. Decimos cliché también.
Exactly. It's a French word, but we use it in Spanish and in English in the same sense. There are lots of cliches in football. Lots and lots of cliches in football. We've had some absolutely fantastic cliches over the last few weeks. Last week's section, we were in the south of London in the municipio of Croydon. Now, can you remember how to say un municipio londinense? Can you remember what the word that we use for municipio is?
¿Puede decir council?
Council... no, council is more like ayuntamiento, I would say. An ayuntamiento, I would say for that. I would say borough is the
borough. Yeah, we learned that last week. Like Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough.
That's it.
Es el municipio del medio, ¿no?
That's a good way to remember it. Yeah, the municipio del medio. Why not?
Well, es que mola mucho decir Middlesbrough, pero significa algo muy normal, ¿no?
Yeah, it's just there are lots of kind of very kind of boring sounding places in England. They just sound very boring. It's not like in America. In America, they have very interesting names like Cincinnati or Jacksonville. They've got very exciting names. And then in England, it's like Middlesbrough, Slough, like Peterborough. I don't know. They don't sound as interesting. But anyway, if you want to say municipio and you're in London, we say borough. So Croydon is the borough in the south of London, the furthest south of London, and that's where Crystal Palace play. That's where we were last week. Today we're going back to the north of England, to Leeds, where Marcelo Bielsa, sadly, in my opinion, has been replaced as manager. He's no longer working as a manager of Leeds United. He's been replaced by an American coach called Jesse March. And for our footballing cliche of the day, we're going to be looking at the word pedigree. Pedigree. Now, I almost never hear this word pedigree outside of the world of, horses, dogs, and football.
That's what was I thinking about. Pedigree es una palabra muy utilizada en España como sinónimo de qué tipo de raza tiene el animal.
Exactly. So I understand that pedigree... I'm not an expert on horses or dogs, but I believe that pedigree, if it's a pedigree, if a dog is described as pedigree or if a horse is described as pedigree, it's like, would you say raza pura? Like a pure
sí, pedigrí es,
breed?
Sí, digamos que tener un buen pedigrí es que el animal pues es puro en el sentido de que no se ha mezclado con otras razas.
Interesting. Yeah, so exactly. So you can sometimes we say raza for an animal is breed, breed. Sometimes they say pure breed, or I think they sometimes say thoroughbred as well, coming from the same verb. Or you can say pedigree, that comes from a good pedigree. So it's an interesting thing that we use it for dogs, we use it for horses, and we use it a lot in football. Those of you that can see this article that we've posted on Twitter, Jesse Marsh must fight US stereotypes as well as relegation at least. So this idea that there's a stereotype of American managers that they're not very good. Maybe you've heard of the program Ted Lasso, which is I think it's on Amazon just now, and it's like a comedy about an American manager who comes to England and he has a very difficult time. The only American manager que yo sepa, as far as I know, in English football history is Bob Bradley. He was an American manager who was the manager of Swansea, and it was a bit of a disaster. And it confirmed, according to the Guardian article, it confirmed many prejudices against American coaches. But the new manager at Ellen Road at Leeds has pedigree. What are they saying here? He has pedigree.
Que tiene como un buen nivel, lo que se entiende que sí que va a poder romper con eso porque tiene categoría para hacerlo, ¿no?
That's it. Very good. He has a good level. He's in the right category of managers. It means that he's good, basically, is a way of saying this. He has experience and there's evidence that he's good. But to have pedigree, I just think that's really, really interesting. Would you ever use that in Spanish, like to describe a person as having good pedigree?
No, se puede utilizar pedigree para personas en algún contexto. Yo en este no lo sé. O sea, podrías decir de alguien, bueno, es de pedigree. Podrías hacer una metáfora y se entendería, pero evidentemente todo el mundo lo utiliza para animales.
Yeah, I know. It would be strange, like imagine in the office, for example, imagine you hire somebody. Acabas de contratar a una persona. You just hired somebody. She has very good pedigree. It just sounds a little bit weird, I think.
What do you got? A dog or a man?
We hired a dog to do the marketing of the company. Yeah, it's really, really strange. Even in English, to use it outside of animals or for some reason football. It's just one of these things. We only really use it in football or for animals. You probably wouldn't use it in your normal life. But it's just that's why it's such a very good example of a football cliche, because it's one of these things that we only use in football. I'm trying to think. I don't think in the Spanish world that there are any stereotypes about any particular countries that they're bad at managing. But there's perhaps some stereotypes about different countries about the way that players are, no? Or the way that managers are.
Yeah.
For example, maybe Argentina. What would the stereotypes of an Argentinian manager be, do you think?
It's very difficult because there's been a lot of Argentinian managers coaching in Spain. So I think we don't have a stereotype about that. In Spain, for example, we always thought that the British football was like to cross the ball, to put in the box the ball.
Yeah.
But for example, the Italian managers are very defensive, maybe. But it's very difficult. But we don't have the idea that as a kind of coaches, especially where they are born, this is determinate how they are. I think we don't have that that in our minds.
Yeah. I think maybe nowadays we don't have it so much, but certainly even when I was growing up, there were stereotypes about certain countries. Like, for example, my dad never liked, he didn't like the German national team because they were quite negative in the same way that the Italians were. So he didn't like the German national team or the Italian national team. Yeah. But nowadays, look at the way that those teams play. My dad really likes Germany now. Also, he's traveled there and things like that. He's got to know the country better.
The word is very...
I think that thing it's very interesting that the style has changed. So these stereotypes disappear a little bit.
The world is very globalized right now. Globalist right now. And I think and maybe it's where it's easier to find stereotypes in the past.
Exactly.
When there were in Spain, all the coaches were from Spain, and when they come from another country, you thought that whatever. But then now I think it's easy to find different coaches from different countries playing the same, and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe the stereotypes were justified in the past, but I think nowadays it's so globalized, and football is a reflection of society. And in general, we are far more connected than before. And you look at a lot of the English managers now; they're very similar to Spanish managers, the way that they play. A lot of them play football on the ground. It's more similar to what you would see in Spain than what the traditional idea of English football is. So I think absolutely it's these stereotypes are slowly going to disappear. I would love to see this guy, Jesse Marsh, do well in England. It would make me really happy because it's the only manager they ever had a very bad experience, Bob Bradley. So it would be nice to see somebody come in from America and do a good job, and to see more Americans in the league. I think it would be a fantastic thing for football. Yep. Okay. Well, it is now once again that time of the week where Rubén and I test each other's skill as linguists, as language learners, with a little game that we like to call Play on Words.
Play on Words.
Okay, Rubén, quickly remind us, just in case this is the first time people have listened to the show with this section, quickly remind us of the concept of this game to those listening at home.
Okay, this section is a game where we are going to discover 4 different expressions for different countries, for different languages. And I am going to introduce 2 of them to Tommy, and Tommy is going to do the same with me. And we are going to discover 4 ways to say something. Could be an expression, could be a word, whatever. And we are going to learn together.
That's it. Very good. Now, I always learn a lot because I'm quite bad at this game, because I think there's such variety in Spanish that there maybe isn't in English. And also, I just don't think I'm very good at this game. I'm not very good at thinking quickly. Do you know that? If I have time to think about something, I'm fantastic. But when I have to act quickly or react quickly, I'm a little bit slow. So I'm not great at this game. Rubén, you are, of course, the reigning champion. You won last week. I think 2-1 was the score last week. So you can decide who do you think should start the game.
Okay, I am going to start today. And I am going to give you the opportunity to decide where do you want to go. You can go to Spain, or you can go to Chile. I know you love Chile.
I love Chile, yeah. Well, I have a difficult relationship with Chile because I think it's a wonderful country. I think it's a fascinating country with a very interesting history, lovely people. However, the Spanish for me is a little bit tricky. The Spanish for me is a little bit difficult. So for the purposes of this game, it's not easy. However, I would like to start with the most difficult option. So I think we're going to start with Chile. We'll kick things off with Chile.
Okay, we are going to start on Chile because the great word we are going to learn is cachaña.
Cachaña. All these words sound the same, honestly.
With the letter Chi.
So similar. Yeah, there's a lot of
chichecito. Today
I have a friend from Ecuador, and she's from a place called Zamora, but it's Zamora de Chinchipe is the name of the place. And I think it's very fun. Very fun to say that, Chinchipe. I don't know what Chinchipe means, but yeah, Zamora de Chinchipe. Cachaña is the word today from Chile. Right. It sounds like a noun, but I'm going to have to ask you for some questions. Could you give me an example of when
I'm going to give
this?
you a clue. For example, in 2015, in Copa America, was in Chile, and the name of the ball was Cachaña.
Was Cachaña. The name of the ball was Cachaña.
Because this is a word that means something in relation with football.
Right. Okay. So the name of the ball was Cachaña. So in the sense that the one in 2010, what was it called? The Jabilana or the Jabalana, or I can't remember what the name of that ball was.
In this
Jabulani,
case, yes, the name was Cachaña.
Cachaña.
And I can tell you that Cachaña is the way they say an art of football.
Okay.
En España diríamos uno de los artes del fútbol.
Okay, so one of the skills, one of the arts, one of the skills of football. Okay, so it's a noun then. It's not an adjective. That's what I thought. I thought it was a noun. It sounds like a noun to me. Sometimes you can tell if a word's a noun or an adjective. Okay. Cachaña. It sounds quite spectacular. It sounds like something.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a sentence. To give you a sentence.
Okay.
¿Cuáles son las mejores cachañas del mundo del fútbol?
Okay. Some of the best. Okay, so is it something to do with like attacking play? Something to do with attacking football?
Yeah, it's an art you can use when you are attacking.
Right, an art that you can use when you're attacking. Is it something... I'm going to give you a player and I want you to tell me if he does this. Okay? Let's go back in time. Garrincha, yes. Pretty good doing cachañas. Pretty good at doing cachañas. What about... I don't know. What about Ronaldo Nazario?
Yes. He was very good doing cachañas. I don't know if he's doing or making, but whatever cachañas.
I can't help you because I don't know what a cachaña is, but we'll be able to maybe in a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to try a guess. Okay, I'm going to adivinar. I'm going to guess. Maradona, Diego Armando Maradona.
Yes, okay. Of course. Maradona was a great player making cachañas.
He was a great cachañer.
Es un cachañer.
Right. I think I'm going to have a guess at it.
Okay.
Is it the same in Spanish as regate or regatear?
Yeah, exactly. Regatear, cachañas.
10 points to me. So in English we would say to dribble.
Sí, puedes encontrar cachaña en la RAE como capacidad de un deportista de eludir a los jugadores rivales reteniendo la pelota, especialmente en el fútbol. Y pues y la cachaña se refiere a las hábiles jugadas que realizan los jugadores para eludir a sus rivales. Por eso es bueno determinar qué tipo de lujo es el mejor y el más complicado de realizar. El arte del regate. En Chile, la cachaña.
Very good. So the art of dribbling, you could say, the art of dribbling. I've heard in Spain people saying tener dribbling. For example, I heard Guardiola say it in an interview. I don't know if that's because he manages
en español decimos tener regate.
Tener regate. Interesting.
Entonces yo creo que es una traducción literal del español.
Probably. Yeah, I heard Guardiola saying in an interview with, I think it was Gol, the channel in Spain, Gol, and he said that he was talking about when he was a player and he said no tenía dribbling. I suppose that you would say...
No tenía regate.
No tenía regate.
Tú puedes decir no tener gol. Un jugador que no mete goles no tiene gol.
That's it. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So, yeah, like he wasn't good at scoring would be no tenía gol. But no tenía regate would be he wasn't good at dribbling. So we use that structure. Like when you want to say se me da bien, you would say I'm good at doing something. Yeah. Se me da bien más gerundio. So I'm good at dribbling or I'm not good at dribbling. In the sense of this word Cachaña again, was that it?
Cachaña es regate, es un regate.
Okay, interesting. So yes,
Cachaña.
you could say that Maradona was great at dribbling, is what we would say, or he was a great dribbler, if you wanted to say that as the person. Yeah, Cachaña. I like that. big fan. Fantastic. Right, we have a break coming up very, very shortly, but I want to leave you with this idea of my first question for you, which is related to gastronomy, Rubén. I don't know if you have the picture.
I love gastronomy.
Okay, so I have a gastronomy-related expression for this game of play on words, which is, I don't know, do you have the photo there, Rubén?
Yes, of course. I am going to share it, but we don't have to go to ads.
We can go to ads. Okay, well, I'll say it before. I'm going to try and get you at home before we go to the break. It would be La Brigada de los Bocadillos de Gambas, is what we would say. Okay? La Brigada de los Bocadillos de Gambas.
Sandwich Brigade. Oh my God.
The prawn sandwich brigade. Exactly. The prawn sandwich brigade. Okay? Think about what that could possibly mean and join us again in 5 minutes when we come back from our break. See you soon. Okay, we are back with Speaking Football, and I am going to challenge Rubén, or I have challenged Rubén, retar, to challenge. I'm going to challenge Rubén with my expression to see if he knows what it means in English. You can see, if you're joining us online, you can see that we have the British flag, the Union flag, with the word prawn sandwich brigade. How would you translate prawn sandwich brigade into
es la brigada del sándwich de gambas.
Okay,
o sea, hay alguien que en el fútbol dice brigada de sándwich de gambas y tiene sentido para algo.
That's it. Have you ever heard this expression before? Or is it?
No. So you can say a player, you are a brigade pro sandwich? No, the player. The fans, the supporters?
It's something to do with the supporters.
Okay. I think in a great direction, because in Spain we say come pipas a los aficionados que no animan. Entonces, los aficionados que son un grupo de gente, pues una brigada, que están comiendo sándwich de gambas, son como que un poco elitistas, ¿no? Están comiendo un sándwich de gambas, es como muy elitista comerse un sándwich de gambas.
Muy elitista. Okay. So you're more or less there. This is the thing. You have to be very specific here, because if you go to a stadium, a normal stadium in England or Scotland or Ireland, what kind of food do we eat normally? Do you know? What are the typical things that we eat?
The pie, no?
Pies, okay.
Very popular pies.
Yeah, pies. In Scotland, we have a thing called bovril, Bovril, which is basically stock, caldo. You know, basically some kind of stock, because it's cold, so they give you it's like a big consommé. It's a big
very good.
Of stock.
Very easy to have.
Yeah, to keep you warm. So nobody drinks bovril unless you're at a football match in Scotland. You would never have bovril in your house. You just have it when you go to the football matches.
Okay,
you so don't the ordinary people.
Okay,
yeah,
you don't use
ordinary people
spawn,
have.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. So ordinary people have like pies, bovril, maybe a hot dog.
In Spain, it's a bocadillos.
Bocadillo,
with
exactly.
A bread. A bread.
Yeah, that's it. So we say bread roll for bocadillo. Bread roll.
Exactly. Okay.
Bread roll. But prawn sandwich, what kind of people eat prawn sandwiches? The ordinary people don't.
Yeah, close to the president, no? In the, how do you say, palco? In the palco.
The palco. The president's box.
So is that the expected way of referring to them?
Pretty good. Yeah, I'll give you the point for that. Well done. So it's a disrespectful way, a pejorative term for people who are in the palco, the president's box, or the expensive seats, who don't really go because they love the team or because they want to support the team. They just want to go because they want to have their prawn sandwiches and their champagne and things like that. I believe the origin of the expression is Roy Keane. Roy Keane, there was a game. I think it was a Champions League game, and he was saying that he was criticizing this group of people. He said the majority of our fans are fantastic, but there's a group of people in the stadium who I don't know why they're there. They probably just come for the prawn sandwiches. And I think he was the first person to say it. This is probably in 2003, 2004, something like that. And it turned into this expression, the prawn sandwich brigade, which I just think is absolutely fantastic.
Roy Keane no solo repartía en el campo.
No, he attacked people off the pitch as well. Absolutely. He absolutely attacked people off the pitch. Well done. 1-1. Rubén, excellent.
Wow.
What is the next expression that you have?
Okay, the expression I am going to share it, is marrullero.
Marrullero.
Maybe you've been a lot of years living in Spain, so maybe you've heard it.
Interesting. Okay, you're going to have to help me out here. I think,
yes.
Marrullero. It's a person, no? It's a type of person.
You can use it in other sense, not only in the football, but you can use in different ambit of the life, no?
Yeah, different areas of life. No?
Areas of life. Marrullero is a way that someone could be,
and you can
tell me different players, and I can tell you if they are marrulleros or they are not marrulleros.
Okay, before I do that, so is it a type of personality then?
Yes,
is it a type
it's
of
a
personality?
way of being. Yes.
It sounds like a negative thing. I think it's a negative thing.
Yeah.
Could be that way. Is Cristiano Ronaldo a marrullero? Marrullero, sorry. Cristiano Ronaldo?
Not too much, maybe a bit. It's not easy to say yes or no. You have a percent of marrullero. Maybe sometimes to times could be a bit marrullero.
Okay. What else? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I've got a sort of idea. Is marrullar a verb?
Sí, marrullar.
Marrullar is a verb.
Sí,
interesting.
No, marrullar no. Yo diría es una marrullería. Marrullería. Marrullería mejor.
So another noun. Interesting. Okay, so Cristiano Ronaldo can be a little bit, but he's not particularly famous.
No, not especially.
What about? I'm trying to think. What about Luis Suarez?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's quite marrullero.
Yeah. Okay. I like
marrullero.
That.
Yeah.
Sergio Ramos.
Yes.
Okay.
He's too.
Jordi Alba.
Yes, could be too. Yes, could be too.
Okay. Right, I'm going to have a guess because I think it's a very difficult thing. I think it's something to do with your attitude on the pitch.
Yes.
Is it something to do with... Does it involve talking? Does it involve verbal, the way that you talk or the things that you say?
It's something you can say. But it's very common to, for example, a good clue. It's something you can use to a narrator talking about a player. El jugador es muy marrullero.
Okay, so I might get this wrong, but I'm just going to guess because it's important to try and guess at some point. Is it a bit like un llorón, like a moaner? Somebody that complains all the time?
No. I thought
that was it. I thought that was it. I thought it was on the right track.
No es un llorón.
That's why I said Jordi Alba, because Jordi Alba is a bit of a llorón.
Llorón sería llorón, pero por ejemplo...
We say moaner in English. Moaner. To moan is quejarse.
Sergio Ramos no creo que sea llorón.
Oof, I would say so. He's always talking to the referee. Yeah, he's always talking to the referee. Do you remember?
En el sentido de quejarse al árbitro.
Yeah, 100%.
Bueno,
100%.
Bueno,
yeah,
pero no es el llorón. No es el llorón.
Okay, you're going to have to tell me.
Marrullero es un jugador que practica la marrullería, que es astucia tramposa o de mala intención. Un jugador marrullero que
listo.
Te golpea, te da, te intenta ser como muy... Quiere ser listo, por ejemplo, Luis Suárez es un marrullero porque te golpea, te finge... Pepe es muy marrullero, claro. Pepe sería Roy Keane, son muy marrulleros.
Roy Keane.
Que van con mala intención, que intentan hacer cosas tramposas, etc.
Okay. So I would probably say something like he's dirty. Yeah, he's a bit dirty.
Dirty
or sneaky. Sneaky is a good one. Sneaky. Yeah, you could say he makes sneaky fouls. Yeah, sneaky. S-N-E-A-K-Y. Not peaky, like Peaky Blinders. Sneaky. Sneaky is like tramposo. that kind of idea. Like it's almost like cheating, you know. He makes sneaky fouls. It means you'll maybe do something when the referee isn't looking. Or
aunque este te va a dar golpes, y te va a dar la patada para que te duela.
Sneaky fouls, sneaky kicks, sneaky punches. Yeah, exactly. Sneaky. I like that. That's a good translation. Very good. Hey. Excellent. That's a brilliant word. Marrullero. Fantastic. I'm going to use that one now. Brilliant. Okay, Rubén, your chance to win.
Okay, we are going to see the last word, and the word is...
To nick a goal.
Nick a goal.
How do we spell nick?
N-I-C-K.
And to nick a goal.
Es un nombre. Yo conozco a gente que se llama Nick.
Yep.
Nick.
I play football with a guy called Nick. Nicolás, ¿no?
Nicolás, Nick a goal. Bueno, Nick es un apodo también. Es un apodo, ¿no? O sea, un apodo.
Yeah.
My nickname.
It's like Nico.
Nico, vale, pero Nick también puede ser un apodo. My nickname is whatever.
True. Yeah. My nickname. True. My nickname. Yeah.
And Nick, for example, and you can use Nick for other ways because nick me es golpéame, ¿no?
To nick somebody would be to just a small touch. It's not like a bad tackle,
I'm nicking.
But it's nothing to do with that. It's not to do with tackling.
Okay.
No tiene nada que ver. Doesn't have anything to do with tackling.
Okay, give me a sentence.
We managed to nick a goal in the last minute. We managed to nick a goal. Conseguimos
un gol en el último minuto, pero con Nick.
Again, also not necessarily in the last minute. This is very difficult for you. I've decided to be difficult.
Okay, so it's not a gasp goal or last minute goal. No, it's a Nick goal. It could be something.
I'll give you a big clue. In England, really, I should have the English flag here instead of the British flag, because in England, particularly in London, the nick, and I think they spell it the same, N-I-C-K, is la cárcel, is jail. Okay.
Okay.
And if someone is nicked, it means that they've been detenido, they've been arrested. Yeah. It's a very classic thing on television.
It's a way of steal something. For example, that guy nicked my mobile.
Very good. That guy nicked my mobile. Okay.
Nicked my mobile.
It's like robar.
It's a slang way to say steal.
Yeah, exactly, and it comes from
gol,
English. Yeah, robar un gol. It comes from English slang, is what we would say, particularly London.
It'll be something like when you won the match, but you steal it. We say in Spanish, me robaron el partido. I nicked the match. They nicked a goal because ha sido un gol que robado. O sea, el gol de Enrico en la mano, que se lleva con la mano contra Irlanda, eso podría decirse they nicked the match because they nicked a goal.
They nicked a goal like very late on. Yeah, so basically I would say like it's to score a goal when you don't deserve it. When you don't deserve it. Cuando no lo mereces, yeah. You don't deserve a goal, but you score one. And it's almost like you're stealing the goal because it's injusto. It's injusto. It's not fair. It's really not fair. So to nick a goal, and the nick is London slang for the jail, for prison, and to nick is slang for robar, and we use that everywhere in Britain. I use it in Scotland as well, to nick something.
Qué bueno. O sea que la cárcel sería como decir chirona, se dice aquí, una forma de decir cárcel, o ir a la trena.
Exactly.
Ir a la trena.
Trena. I'd say the la trena, exactly. La trena. So nick is what they say in London for that. Yeah, bueno. Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to give you a point for that. I think.
Wow, because you gave me a lot of clues because I didn't know that. I wasn't close. It was very important to know that was a synonym of prison. No? Wow.
Yeah, of prison. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll maybe give you. Okay. Well, then it's un empate. It's a draw.
Empate.
It's a draw.
Today it's a draw. 1-1.
1-1. I don't know if that's our first draw, but I feel happy with the result. I feel very happy with the result.
Yeah, because you learned the Chilean one.
Oh,
I thought it was very, very difficult, that one. Easier than the Spanish one for me, obviously.
Yeah, no. Well, the Spanish one, I knew it was something to do with attitude. I knew it was like a kind of person, but this idea of like a dirty player. Can you repeat one more time? What was the Spanish word?
The Spanish one, marrullero.
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 Interesting. And what's the other noun? Like
The other one, marrullero.
Yeah, but marrulleria?
Marrulleria.
Marrulleria. Oof, difficult. Big fan of that word. Dirty play, we would probably say in English, but absolutely fantastic. I love that. Really, really good. Okay, well, we've not got too long left, so it's time to have a look at what's been happening in the world of football in recent days, and that means that it's time for this week's press review.
Press review.
Okay, really incredible week, obviously, in the world in general for news and things like that. Obviously, with the conflict in Ukraine, and that has affected the world of football. And we can see the first title is from the Guardian newspaper. Russia suspended from all FIFA and UEFA competitions until further notice. Okay, so to be suspended, how would we say that in Spanish? It's more
sí, bueno, que es suspendida. Rusia es suspendida de todas las competiciones de FIFA y de UEFA hasta nuevas noticias.
Yeah, exactly. Until further notice. You see this a lot in English, until further notice, in the sense that we don't know how long this is going to last. It's something indefinido. It's something indefinite. Until further notice. Hasta further like
notice.
Más lejos, and then notice like noticia. So until further notice, Russia has been suspended from all FIFA and UEFA competitions. Russia had been due to face Poland in a World Cup playoff. To face a team would be like jugar contra. Yeah. So Russia had been due. What does that mean, had been due, or to be due? Tenía pendiente.
Tener pendiente, sí. Sí.
Okay. Or you could probably simplify it even more. Sometimes English is quite complicated, and journalistic English is even more complicated. I would just say Rusia iba a jugar contra Polonia. Okay,
exactly.
Russia had been due to face or to play against Poland in a World Cup playoff. The women's side are set to miss out on place at Euro 2022. So remember, in English we say side sometimes when we mean to say, Rubén, what does side mean?
Side es como lado, ¿no?
Lado, literally it's lado, but it also means team.
Right. Sí, yes, like a national side, a national team, the same.
Exactly. Yeah. The national side would be la selección, the national team. So the women's side are going to miss out on the place at Euro 22. So the Russia women's team it seems like they're going to not play at Euro 2022. And UEFA ends sponsorship deal with Gazprom. Now, sponsorship.
El sponsor. El sponsor.
Yeah.
El trato con el sponsor se ha terminado.
That's it. What is the difference between a sponsor and patrocinador? Is there a difference?
Patrocinador están prácticamente, pueden tener ligeros matices, pero se usan indistintamente. El patrocinador, el sponsor, se utiliza casi como sinónimos.
Right, okay. Very good, interesting. Okay, yeah, so the sponsorship, so they had a deal, contrato, I'd probably say like a contract. UEFA had a sponsorship deal with Gazprom, obviously a big energy company in Russia, and they've ended that deal. I don't know about you, Rubén, I was a little bit surprised that this happened because I'm not very optimistic about UEFA and FIFA because of everything, in recent years, but I feel like they've been quite firm, if you know what I mean by that. They've been firm, they've been quite strong, no, with this. I think it's been very, very solid. Were you surprised when you read this news?
Oh, well, I think it's something you have to do because there is a lot of pressure, not only sports pressure, even the government pressuring it. And I think that's what we have to do because it's very, very, very important what's happening right now. And I think everybody has to be has to have a very firm decision about everything they are going to do and be together and think about what's happening and the consequences of these actions.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Yep, I think you have to think of the short term and the long term consequences. And I can't imagine a situation where any country could play against Russia at the moment. I just think it's not acceptable. Interestingly enough, Scotland are going to play a game against Ukraine next. I think it's next month in April. We're due to face Ukraine in our playoff game for the World Cup. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but the Scottish Football Association said we can wait, that we don't have to play it next month. So I think it's been in amongst all of this craziness and sadness, there's been a lot of positive things as well that we've seen from people. So I'd say it's a good news story. I think it is a good news story in amongst all the bad news. Our second article from today is also from The Guardian. I think they're all from The Guardian today, actually. This is another brilliant story. Gianluigi Buffon signals intent to play on until he is 46 years old with a new Parma deal. So again, this word deal being used as like a contrato, has been used as contract. 46 years old, Rubén. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yes, it's gone back to the origins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I remember when I was a kid playing Gianluigi Buffon in Parma. So
yeah. I remember a game where Parma played against Rangers in Glasgow, and I don't know what year it was, but I remember like seeing videos of it, and Buffon was the goalkeeper, and I was in it was one of the first football games that I can remember as a human being, and Buffon was the goalkeeper. Incredible career, 46 years old. He says it's a beautiful and exciting challenge for me. Again, that word challenge, meta, can mean meta, desafío, objetivo, this kind of idea. A beautiful and exciting challenge for me. Really, really great. To sign an extension with a club. I don't know how to say that exactly in Spanish. Would you ever say alargar un contrato, or would you say renovar un contrato?
Cuando es una extensión, bueno, técnicamente en el lenguaje jurídico se usa extensión. Vamos a extender el contrato. Entonces va a extender el contrato.
Very good. Okay. You can have the verb extend to extend in English, which is alargar, to extend your stay, to extend something. That works as well. But extend, you can say extender as well. Okay. So yeah, to extend a contract, it means basically renovar, to renew your contract. So he's going to be one extra year until he's 46 years old. Absolutely fantastic. I would love to see him keep playing even longer. Stanley Matthews, famously, he played until he was 50 something.
Yeah.
Football. Which is amazing.
I remember we were talking about that. Yeah, it was very difficult. And I think it's especially difficult these days. Well, in you're a goalkeeper, it's easier. If you were a player playing with 46 years old, I think it's very difficult to play in the high category. Other thing is you are 46 and you are playing in the 4th division in the team of your village. But in Parma with 46, very, very difficult.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, he's doing it. Wonderful, wonderful player. Next article, I believe we're also with the Guardian newspaper. Next one there. Yeah, that's it. Fantastic. So there's an interesting story. I don't know if you watched Manchester City's game against Everton, but there was a very controversial decision from the referee. Mike Riley is the name of the referee. And he apologizes to Everton. So what does that mean? Se disculpa,
Pide disculpas, ¿no? Pide disculpas al Everton por el error de no pitar la mano de Rodri.
Very good. So to spot is to look or is to see something. Yeah, I spotted it. Yeah, I saw it.
Spot sirve para todo. Es una palabra que sirve para todo.
It's amazing. Yeah, exactly. It can be like mancha, it can mean grano, it can mean ver, to see.
Penalty spot. Punto de
penalty spot as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, punto as well. Yeah, it's true. It's incredible. So he apologizes for not spotting the Rodri handball. And if you look at the photo, it's a clear handball. Yeah. It's so clear that he handballs it. And as the article points out, handball decision would have given Everton a chance to draw 1-1 or to equalise 1-1. Manchester City were only winning 1-0 at the time. So it would have been a very big decision.
Is there a bar in this competition?
You know, there is VAR, but I can't remember if he looked at it. I was watching the game on Saturday. I can't remember if he looked at it. I think he looked at it and he didn't. I don't know. From the photo, it looks very clear. Maybe in the VAR, it wasn't so clear. But he apologised to Everton. That's interesting to see because I think referees don't always apologise. They're a bit like politicians sometimes. They always apologise. But yeah, quite nice to see that they did that. And one more article, Rubén.
Sevilla says their chance in Derby to keep unlikely title hopes alive.
Very good. To seize a chance, it's like aprovechar.
Sí, para mantenerse pues en la lucha por el título, ¿no? De mantener la liga viva.
Very good, exactly. This word unlikely, to say unlikely, it means poco probable.
Poco probable.
So they've described Sevilla's possibility of winning the title as being unlikely, poco probable. I don't know. Do you agree with that? Do you think it's unlikely?
I think it's unlikely, yes.
Now, we don't have too much time left, so it's time to finish the programme, as always, with the clues for next week's Mystery Player.
Mystery Player.
Okay, Rubén, you can kick us off with clue number 1.
Yes, he played in Italy, France, England, and Qatar.
Number 2, he won the World Cup and the Euros. Clue number 3, Rubén.
He was adopted by a diplomatic when he was a child.
Very good. So diplomatico is actually diplomat. So he was adopted by a diplomat when he was a child. Clue number 4, he won the Champions League 2 years in a row with 2 different teams. And in the second final, he scored as well. That's another big clue. He scored a goal.
He was born in Accra.
Very good. The last clue is he was born in Accra. If you don't know where that is, go to the internet and try and figure out where Accra is because it's a big, big clue. Okay, well, very well done. Now, if you think you know the answer, you can write to us on Twitter. It's speak_football, and you can let us know who you think the mystery player is. Thanks to those of you who joined us on the radio and listened to us for the last hour. Remember, stick around with us here for La Hora Extra with Richard Vaughan, which starts in a couple of minutes. Thanks for joining us as always, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.